mama told me. Yeah, like Paisley, mama told me. Yeah, come on. My mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to say when shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life they call living, but I call it strange. And I bet I'll do it, cause I'm on my way and strong enough that I can shake the pain. Hey, Mr. Sunshine.
And welcome to our short squat video. Just having a look at a frame-by-frame slow-mo of the same student here. Left-hand side and right-hand side is Brunka. Now the first squat that Brunka did during this activity is the frame on the left-hand side. So let's just keep our eye on the left-hand side. And in particular here, I'm really interested in what's happening in this area, her lumbar spine. I've already checked Brunka's technique from behind. I know that her ankles and her knees are all moving in the right direction. And what I'm really interested in here is, can she squat to depth while maintaining a reasonable lumbar curve? Let's just have a look at this in half speed and see what it looks like. So we're looking at the left-hand side first. Now she comes down, and let's just freeze halfway down, and now let's have a look at that lumbar curve. And I'm looking at that lumbar curve and I'm thinking, that's maybe just a little bit too much. Let's just look at the rest of her squat there and see what happens. She's coming down towards parallel with her upper legs now, and she can actually go a little bit below parallel to the floor, and there we go. Really good depth there on her squat. So if I look approximately the height of her knee, her hips are below the height of her knee. Really good depth on the squat, and she's maintained quite a good lumbar curve there as well. But when we did this activity, I was a little bit concerned that perhaps she was just having a little bit too much lumbar curve on that lift. So for her second lift, I just encouraged Brunka to really engage her core. In particular, I wanted her to engage TA by really sucking in that belly button. Now if we have a look at the frame on the right hand side now, let's just have a look and see what changes here. So she's squatting down, and we'll freeze the frame again about halfway down, and if you have a look at the lumbars now from left to right, I'm thinking the one on the right hand side has just a little less lumbar curve. It looks a little straighter, and to me that is perfect. I don't want too much, I don't want too little, I've got it just right. Let's continue down and see how it looks at depth. That looks really good so far. She's now getting to parallel to the floor, going a little deeper than parallel, and this is looking like an excellent squat technique at depth. Again, I can have a look at the depth compared to her knee, hip well below the knee. In fact, on the right hand side, activating her core, she's actually able to get a little lower into the squat. I'm not sure that she needs to go any deeper with that squat. I'd be really happy with that. Looking at that lumbar curve, it's fantastic. Now the most important thing for our squat is that we don't particularly want to see a lot of movement. In fact, we don't want to see any movement back here. This pelvis needs to be really locked in, and what Brunka has done is she has performed a squat with really very little pelvis movement, and that's what's enabling her to keep that really good lumbar curve, really strong lift. The weight on the bar is not great there, and that's not important at this stage because Brunka's still learning, and she just wants to dial in perfect technique with the lighter weights. So when she progresses to those heavier weights, it's going to be easier for her to perform that lift perfectly. Great squat technique, Brunka. Well done.